Good afternoon, everybody. I am talking to you guys today about the community power structure here at Henderson Middle School. Being with Henderson Middle School for about 3 years now, this is the start of my fourth, I truly believe that there is a pluralistic power structure here at Henderson Middle School within our community as well. Our primary power groups on campus and in our community are many. There's a lot that are specific to our campus, and then there are some that are specific to our community, and then there are some that kind of go both into both categories. The seventh grade English language arts team and the sixth and seventh grade math team, I feel like kind of fit into both of those categories. For the campus level, they have a very cohesive team. They are always talking with one another, they are always communicating with one another, and they are not afraid to work with our administrators. Our administrators and these teams in particular have a pretty strong relationship, and if there is ever an issue between the two, they are not afraid to bring that to them and talk to them about the problems going on, be it academic, be it personal, whatever it may be. They are willing to have that tough conversation. There is a lot of people in this particular group that work in multiple community programs. Like we have a lot that are involved in the local theater. We have a lot that are involved in the churches and things like that. So having that outreach within the campus and outside of the campus helps build the community in the view of the school. Our eighth grade social studies team is also very active in our school functions. If there is ever a time where there needs to be a silly dress up day at a pep rally, or if there is something going on during Red Ribbon Week, or if there is any sort of dress up day, they are very active in that. They are not afraid to get silly, they are not afraid to dress up with the students and things like that. They are very involved in our students' lives as far as how they are on campus. They are not afraid to meet with the students and figure out what it is that is going to help them learn the best. There is also a large number of them that are involved in the local churches, which is a big deal in this particular area. So having that outreach into the community again just helps build that community feeling in our campus. The football program also has a pretty large following. They have a lot of power. Football is very important. If you are from East Texas, if you are from any part of Texas, really, you know that football has a lot of power. The family has, or there's a lot of families involved in this, and so they have a large buy-in on this. This is a potential scholarship getter for a lot of our athletes and a lot of our students. So starting them out in the middle school campus, which is where I'm located, um, if they do well in football, if they have a lot of success in football, that means that they're probably going to be pretty successful in football when they get to high school, which means more scholarships for them. So having that bit of drive is a big buy-in, is a big source of their power. Another primary source of power in our community and on our campus would be the advanced placement course student parents. These parents have a pretty big buy-in to what happens on this campus. Their students are the higher achieving students. They want them to be in all of the advanced classes. They want them to be able to show off how much they know. So these parents have a lot of buy-in. So whenever it comes to anything that happens with the advanced placement students, their parents are usually very vocal. They're very outspoken, and they are not afraid to advocate for their students. So they are very much a source of power. If they feel like something is going great, they're going to share that, they're going to show that off because they are proud of it. Another group that is a source of power that has a pretty good chunk of power in our community is the cheer, dance, twirling, athletic, band, anybody that is in an extracurricular, really. They have a lot of community involvement. It's either with the sporting events when they are there supporting, cheering, or whatever it may be for the athletes. It is when we have parades or other community events like that. They are out there making their faces seen. They are being a spokesman for our campus in a way. So these parents also have a large amount of buy-in because they are very much seen. They are involved in a lot of the things on our campus and in our community. Football parents, again, there's a lot of eyes on them. People are watching them. People are wanting to see what it is that they think, what it is that they do, and how their students interact with the community and the members of their campus. Football, again, is a big deal here in East Texas. So if there is a student that is doing something great and they make it to the college league of football, or if they make it to the major leagues in football, that is something that we are going to hear about here in our community. Okay, they are very proud of that. We also have a few self-employed reporters that are very active on a lot of social media groups that will report things to online articles and online news sources just to kind of keep us aware of what is going on. There is a small group, maybe 2 or 3 people within our community that have a pretty large following. Anytime they report on anything good or bad, there is a group of people that are going to pretty much instantly believe what they say, regardless of the source, regardless of the context. This can be used for us in a good way because, like I said, if they report on something great, people are going to believe it regardless if it's true or not. We want to strive for greatness, but anything that we can get from our self-employed reporters, if it's a good positive report, that's great. We also have that double-edged sword of it being if they decide that there's something that they don't like on campus happening, then they can turn that into a negative experience for those involved. Okay, now we're going to talk about how these particular groups exercise their power on campus or in the community. When it comes to the 7th and 8th grade, or 7th grade English and the 6th and 7th grade math team, they're able to connect with their students' family more often. Because we have so many of them that are involved in the community in some way, shape, or form, they see their students outside of the classroom. They see their students outside of campus. So they are able to connect with them and kind of see what is important to those families, what makes those families feel valued, what makes those families feel important. So we are able to kind of generate a more cohesive bond between the community and the parents at that point. There is a lot of inter-campus community that is being built by these particular groups. They spend a lot of their time building potlucks and doing other celebrations between the grade levels and on the entire campus. We see a lot of 7th grade potlucks, especially around the holidays times, when things can get really stressful with their students. We never know what's going on with them, with their family lives. Things just get a lot more stressful around the holidays for everybody involved. So a lot of times we will see these particular groups set up holiday potlucks to kind of alleviate some of that stress and make people seem like, hey, we do appreciate you, we see you, we understand what you're going through. The 8th grade social studies group, they also have a strong relationship with their parents and family to kind of help us build that partnership between the two. We have a lot of family members who are very opinionated on what is happening in the school. So having those communications, having those strong relationships between the 8th grade social studies and the 6th and 7th grade math and the 7th grade English team helps us build that kind of rapport with these parents. It helps us when it comes to an issue. If there is an issue with their student, we can say, hey, we have this relationship with you. We understand where you're coming from. Let's figure out a way to fix it. The football program, how they exercise their program, we have a lot of things that happen because of football. Here recently, we have had a half day implemented in our school because of a football game that was farther away. So we changed our school schedule for a football game because it's something that's important to the students and it's something that's important to the families. They are investing a lot of time into this particular activity, into this particular sport. So it's something that we want to show them, hey, we value this. If we show them we value what your student is doing outside of the classroom, then they are more likely to buy in and say, hey, yeah, I'm going to back up my school. I'm going to back up my teachers, my principals, and things like that so that they can do the things that they like. The football program also has a lot more funding from the school board. That is in part because of how popular the program is and because it is beneficial to our student athletes. Having a student that is involved in extracurricular like football is a benefit to the academic classroom. If they are involved and they have a reason to want to come to school, they're going to perform better. Other groups that have the power and how they exercise it are advanced placement course students and their parents. Again, they're very engaged. A lot of times the parents in the advanced placement are in some way, shape, or form involved with the PTO. They're involved with community groups that are people that could donate money to programs, people that could donate resources to programs, people that could donate time to programs. A lot of times I don't think we value the amount of time that these parents put into the community. So having that acknowledgement for, hey, we see the time that you are spending with your student, with our community, with our campus, and we appreciate it. That's a way that we can kind of help them want to support the school a little bit more. Cheer, dance, twirling, athletic students, all the ones that we talked about previously, again, they're very visible in the community. Because of that visibility, they are able to sway people's opinions one way or the other. So if there's an issue when it comes to getting new cheer outfits or cheer uniforms or anything like that, if we have a parent that is willing to say, hey, yeah, haven't you noticed how ragged our cheer uniforms are currently, or how ragged our band uniforms are, or we need new football helmets because of the safety of the students, or something along those lines. If we have a parent that is willing to advocate for that in the community, it's going to be a lot easier for the school to get that particular thing that they're looking for. Same thing with football parents. Again, they are very visible in our campus. They are very visible in our community. So if there's an issue regarding football or something related to that, they are going to be able to have a little bit more sway when it comes to the people in the community. Our self-employed reporters, again, I kind of talked about that just a moment ago. It's a very small group. However, it is a very vocal group. So if there is anything good that comes from our campus, they are there to report it. But if there's anything bad, okay, a lot of times we see a lot of the negative coming out because of this small group that has a very, very strong connection to our underserved community members and things like that. They are able to gain support from those particular members. And so they are able to make their voice a little bit more heard because it's amplified farther. Some groups that do not have power on our campus, based on my observations, are the ESL student families with limited English language skills. Another group is the low income and single parent or alternative caregiver households. Those households that are not atypical for a two-parent household with 2 stable jobs or 1 with a stay-at-home job. So how does this powerlessness affect them? If you do not have power, you often feel like you are a little bit alienated from things. Typically, if a student feels powerless, they're going to act out or shut down. So they're either going to cause a lot of issues in class, or they are going to refuse to do the things and have to be written up multiple times, or have multiple phone calls home, or something along the lines of that, or they're just going to shut down and they are just not going to be successful in class. It's hard to feel like school matters if you feel like you are not valued, if you feel like you have no power. Some of the reactions that we could get from our parents or guardians, they're going to be more reactionary, just because if there is an issue that happens, they're going to feel like, okay, well, my student was not valued, my student was not taken care of, my student was not seen before this issue became a larger issue. They will also probably feel a little less comfortable coming to school and bringing these concerns to the attention of the admin. If they don't feel like they're heard in a general sense, they're definitely not going to feel like they're heard if there's an issue. Some reactions from both the students and the parents, again, if their voices are not heard, they are not going to think that their opinion matters. So if they feel like they are just being ignored or brushed off for whatever reason, maybe they don't speak very well in English, maybe they are too busy because they're having to work 2 or 3 jobs to support their children, they're going to feel like they're not valued, and they're going to feel like their opinions are not accepted on our campus. So how does this powerlessness affect them and, in a long run, our community? So if a ESL student's family does not feel like they are valued or heard, or they have no power, this can kind of create a hostile environment for our ESL families. If we